Jodie Ramsey issues a chilling threat to David Platt in tonight's Coronation Street as their storyline takes a darker turn. Fans will know that manipulative Jodie has recently been ingratiating herself into David and half-sister Shona's lives, including tricking David by pretending to be his wife in bed. However, Jodie has now falsely alleged that David said her name in bed rather than Shona's, with the fallout airing in the latest episode. While speaking to Maria Connor, David addresses Jodie's claims, Maria arguing his state of drunkenness could back her version of events. He questions why he would make a pass at Jodie, though Maria notes that David had tried it on multiple times with her in the past. "Don't you go rewriting history," she teases him, adding, "I'm just saying, you've got form." However, while she suggests Jodie could be telling the truth, Maria also brings up Jodie's argument with Daniel in the pub and his accusations of her being a liar, and proposes that David come clean with Shona. Sure enough, he goes to see Shona, who is in a bad mood after Jodie found a textbook earlier belonging to Lily on child development and mentioned normal babies, Shona taking it as a dig towards baby Harper. However, when Shona suggests he distract her with gossip, David sees his moment pass. Later on back home, David decides to have a one-on-one chat with Jodie, backing up Daniel's accusations and suggesting she is lying about a lot of things. However, she threatens him in response, declaring, "Do you know what I say to that? Don't push me, David, 'cause if you do I could land you in a whole universe of trouble." What will David do? It comes after actor Jack P. Shepard recently teased dark times ahead for David and Shona in an exclusive chat with Digital Spy. "It won't happen to the baby," he shared. "It's something family-orientated for the Platts. They've been through tough times before and they're going to go through something tough again. The Cobbles have seen their fair share of danger over the years, but a terrifying new confrontation leaves residents fearing the worst as Jodie delivers a chilling warning to David Platt that could change everything." In dramatic scenes from an early ITVX episode of Coronation Street, tensions reach boiling point when David finds himself backed into a corner by the increasingly unpredictable Jodie. What begins as a tense exchange quickly escalates into something far more sinister, leaving David shaken and viewers wondering just how far Jodie is prepared to go. David has never been a stranger to trouble. Throughout the years, he has faced family feuds, criminal threats, and countless personal battles. However, this latest ordeal feels different. There is a cold determination in Jodie's actions that sends alarm bells ringing throughout Weatherfield. The episode opens with David attempting to maintain a sense of normality. At the salon, he throws himself into work, hoping to distract himself from the growing pressure surrounding him. But despite his efforts, it's clear that recent events have taken a toll. Friends notice his distracted behavior. He struggles to focus on conversations and repeatedly checks his phone, clearly expecting bad news. His anxiety only grows when he receives a cryptic message requesting a meeting. Although David initially considers ignoring it, curiosity and concern get the better of him. He decides to find out what Jodie wants once and for all. Meanwhile, Jodie appears calmer than ever, but that calmness proves more unsettling than outright anger. Her composed exterior hides a dangerous edge that becomes increasingly apparent as the episode unfolds. As darkness falls over Weatherfield, David arrives at the arranged meeting place. The location is quiet, away from the usual hustle and bustle of the street. It immediately feels wrong. Jodie is already waiting. For a moment, neither speaks. The silence stretches between them, creating an atmosphere thick with tension. David attempts to appear confident, refusing to let Jodie see how nervous he really feels. "What do you want?" he finally asks. Jodie's response is chilling. She calmly explains that she knows more than David realizes. Every move he has made, every attempt to stay ahead of the situation, has apparently been anticipated. David tries to dismiss her claims, but his confidence begins to crumble as Jodie reveals details that she shouldn't possibly know. The realization hits him hard. He's being watched. The conversation quickly becomes a psychological game. Jodie maintains complete control while David struggles to understand what is happening. Then comes the moment that leaves viewers stunned. Looking directly into David's eyes, Jodie delivers a threat so cold and calculated that even David is left speechless. She warns him that if he interferes again, there will be consequences, not just for him, but for the people he cares about most. The implication is unmistakable. This is no empty warning. For David, family has always been his greatest strength and greatest weakness. The mere suggestion that his loved ones could be dragged into danger immediately changes everything. As the gravity of Jodie's words sinks in, David realizes he's facing an opponent who isn't afraid to cross lines. Back on the street, concern grows among those closest to him. Sarah notices that something is seriously wrong. Having known David for years, she can tell when he's hiding something. Despite his attempts to brush off her questions, she senses his fear. Later, she confides her worries to others, wondering whether David is dealing with more than he's willing to admit. Meanwhile, Shona becomes increasingly frustrated by David's secrecy. She knows he's under pressure, but his refusal to open up leaves her feeling helpless. The distance between them begins to grow, creating emotional strain at a time when they need each other most. Unaware of the full situation, several residents continue with their daily lives, oblivious to the danger lurking just beneath the surface. But viewers know that a storm is brewing. As the episode progresses, David finds himself trapped in an impossible position. If he follows Jodie's demands, he risks losing control of his own life. If he refuses, he could put the people he loves at risk. The pressure mounts with every passing hour. Unable to think clearly, David starts making mistakes. His normally sharp instincts begin to fail him, and those around him notice. Even small interactions become difficult. Every unexpected phone call causes panic. Every knock at the door raises suspicion. Every stranger seems like a potential threat. The psychological impact of Jodie's warning becomes impossible to ignore. Yet Jodie herself remains frustratingly difficult to read. What exactly does she want? Is she bluffing? Or is she genuinely capable of carrying out her threat? Those questions linger throughout the episode, creating an atmosphere of suspense that keeps viewers on edge. Adding another layer of tension, there are hints that Jodie may not be acting alone. Several mysterious moments suggest that bigger forces could be at work behind the scenes. If that's true, David's problems may be far worse than he imagines. As the story builds toward its climax, David makes a risky decision. Rather than continue living in fear, he begins quietly investigating Jodie's activities. He hopes to uncover information that could expose her motives and protect his family. But every step he takes appears to bring him closer to danger. The more he learns, the more complicated the situation becomes. Just when David thinks he's gaining ground, a shocking discovery leaves him reeling. Someone he trusted may have been withholding crucial information. The revelation raises fresh questions and leaves viewers desperately waiting for answers. In the final scenes, tension reaches a fever pitch. David receives another message. This time, there is no ambiguity. Jodie knows exactly what he's been doing. The realization sends a chill through him. As he looks around, it becomes clear that nowhere feels safe anymore. Then comes the episode's dramatic cliffhanger. David notices a figure watching him from a distance. Before he can react, the person disappears into the darkness. Moments later, his phone buzzes. A new message appears. There are only a few words. But they are enough to leave him terrified. I warned you. David's face turns pale as panic sets in. The screen fades to black. And just like that, viewers are left wondering whether Jodie's threat is about to become a horrifying reality. With danger closing in and trust becoming increasingly difficult to find, David faces one of the most frightening challenges of his life. As the storyline continues, fans can expect more twists, more secrets, and potentially devastating consequences. One thing is certain, Jodie has made her intentions clear, and David now knows that every decision he makes could have life-changing consequences. As Weatherfield braces for what comes next, the question remains, will David find a way to stop Jodie before it's too late, or has a chain of events already been set in motion that nobody can control? The answer may be closer than anyone thinks, and if Jodie's chilling warning is anything to go by, the worst could still be yet to come. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.